Greetings, this is James Gillen with As You Wish Talk Radio. We're broadcasting live from a new place. We're at the Indian Springs Spiritual Fair. And if you want to find out more about that, get your pencils handy. It's www.gailthackeray.com. It's GAILTHACK and then RAY.com. So gailthackeray.com. And it's the Indian Springs Spiritual Fair. You might be able to find it if you Google that. But look under live appearances when you get to that site. You can find out what's going on. I'll be one of the speakers here. And it's so far it's been an amazing experience being here. The energy is just incredible. Having all kinds of visions and things. And it's just been great meeting a lot of people. And I guess tomorrow is the big kickoff for this, so come down to the fair and check it out. There's a lot of other things on the news. We're starting to see sightings everywhere around the planet. And we have a guest, and hopefully she'll call in. We don't know what's going on yet, but we've been trying to call Leslie Kane, and trying to get her on the show. Hopefully she's listening, and we'll call in. We left a message on her answer machine. We made a couple calls there, but Leslie, where are you? Anyway, there's a lot of things to talk about. She's got a wonderful book out, UFOs, generals, pilots, and I guess officials, you know, what they have to say. And she's got quite a compelling case file there with some of the top names and top brass around the country talking about, you know, experiences where they've shut down missile silos and done all kinds of crazy things, you know. So actually shot down missiles, shut down nuclear missiles. They've flown over major bases. They, you know, a lot of astronauts, all kinds of people have come forward and talked about it. So basically she's compiled quite a who's who list on who is, has, you know, been involved in the UFOs that don't exist according to our government, but according to major officials in the government, they do exist. And hopefully we can get a hold of her. She might have gotten tied up somewhere. We don't know. It's a crazy field, ufology. You never know what's going to happen next. I know when I was in it hot and heavy in the very beginning, they had fun cutting brake lines and undoing lug nuts and having all kinds of crazy things happen. I won't even get into some of the other things that happen, but it's a field that is kind of unpredictable, and you never know what's coming next. But in your heart of hearts, if you're aligned to do so, then by all means do it. You know, check it out. There's I'm flying blind here. Unfortunately, the phone lines, we're having all kinds of problems here where I'm at. I'm in the Tujunga Canyon area, and what's going on here is that there's a heat wave hitting the area. It's about 107 degrees here, and all the equipment, my equipment just does not like it. You know, it doesn't like this heat. And I know we're getting solar streams right now coming in too. So you've got this heat wave and these huge solar streams coming in, hitting the planet right now, and it's just the beginning, folks, because going to hang on to our technology here because it's going to be doing all kinds of strange things. But anyway, I've got everything up and running. The only thing, I don't have a phone line. I'm doing everything through Skype, and that's all I've got. So if you want to go ahead and call in, you know, if you have any call-ins that want to come in until we can get a hold of Leslie, hopefully she'll come in, you know, come into the show. There's a lot of things have been happening at the ranch. We've got the yaks are in, and if those of you who've seen on YouTube, we've got 5 new yaks running around the property, and there's some YouTube video on that. A lot of things. We've a new well in. We're doing all kinds of things and getting ready for some big time events and changes, and I think it's time everybody else does the same thing because we're definitely moving into those times. Hopefully we can keep trying to get Leslie on. I don't know what her story is. In the meantime, we can take calls. I've got, hopefully I won't be losing the net here. It's like bouncing around. There's a lot of things going on. We can just keep talking about some of the new things going on. We just heard some interesting information. I won't say where the source is because I don't want to, you know, I probably won't do it credence, but there's these solar streams that are going in. We're going into this, you know, incredible time compression, and a lot of people are feeling it, where things are going to be happening very quickly all at once. And I guess this March is when the real time compression starts, according to the Mayan calendar. But we're in it right now, and we're in the age of integrity, moving out of that into the unity consciousness. And so basically with this unity conscious, everything that's in disunity or out of unity, the me program and the selfishness and all that stuff seems to be crashing. And a lot of people are having some very hard lessons and not learning their lessons. They don't want to learn their lessons, but when you look at the obvious and what's happening around you in your life, and when there's all kinds of people, you know, experience the same thing, and it's time to start taking a look at what's manifesting in our outer world, because we are going through a shift. The energies are very intense, and they're coming up for our lessons, and we're getting to see them very clearly. And if we don't see our lessons, then it gets to be very hard. You know, it's going to go around again and again with this time compression thing, and it's going to happen very quickly, very intensely, and the lessons are going to be very hard when they come through. So it's very important that we start paying attention to our outer world, pay attention to what the outer world is telling us. It's a reflection of the inner world. And if there are things we don't like when we look in that mirror or look in that reflection, then we should start working on them and changing them within ourselves. And one of the best ways of doing that is just take full responsibility and be accountable, you know, for what's happening in your life. Don't go into projection, blame, and don't go into victim mode. You know, it doesn't work. We had a big discussion this morning about the victim role, and people use the victim role to gain either emotional or financial support from others. And they're on the triangle, and then the Savior comes in and saves them. And when the Savior gets tired of saving them, or then all of a sudden they become the persecutor rather than the Savior. And then the victim person shifts their energy, and it just gets really crazy. So anyway, there's this victim, persecutor, savior triangle going on, and the saviors end up becoming victims of the victims that they tried to save, because the victims are lashing out at them, you know, trying to get them to continue in that role, in that savior role. And so, you know, basically that whole program is just, it's just the only way out of this program is to step out of it, hold everybody accountable, hold everybody responsible, including ourselves, for the reality that we're creating, the world in which we live, and to step totally out of this program and stop running this program. And you'll see, you know, it's when you allow people to make their choices, have their experiences and the reactions to their actions, then everything evolves and you're out of the loop. But if you keep jumping in there and trying to get even and trying to blame and trying to save and trying to, you know, all this nonsense, you're in the loop. You know, you're stuck in that loop. So, you know, it's tough. You have to figure out, when are you enabling people? When are you serving people? When are you helping? You know, when are you hindering? And it's tricky business, you know, to walk that path. But anyway, it's getting real interesting out there. It's just unbelievable what's been manifesting and how fast it's coming around. And trying to keep up with it is intense. You know, there's the process of manifestation seems to have really sped up. And so keeping everything aligned and, you know, moving in the right direction is tough right now, because things are happening. There's so many options opening up, and there comes a time when you have to sit back and look at what's highest and best good for everyone. What's everybody's highest and best place to be, and with loving detachment, allow that to unfold and allow everybody to end up where they need to be. And it's a tough one, but sometimes that's just what's necessary, because we have all of our attachments and what we think should happen, the way we think things should be, and they say that the road to hell is paved with it's not fair and it should have been this way, or and things of that nature. So when we get out of that program, then we get off the path to hell and we get back in the moment. But the judgment of it's bad, it's good, it's wrong, it shouldn't be that way, and then I'm going to fix it. is like a good way to take yourself right on that road down that rocky, bumpy road. So, but anyway, it's time to step out of that circle and just follow your bliss, basically. And try to master judgment, because we don't know what another soul needs for completion. None of us do. And it's time to step back and allow people to do their thing. And if it starts affecting you in a negative way, then set some boundaries wherever necessary. But just be sure you're not in the blame game when you do it. Still hanging on here, hoping that Leslie will pop in. If anybody wants to go to the phone lines, they can go ahead and call. I was hoping maybe Seth can pop up the numbers for me, because I don't have access to the. This computer is so touchy right now. I'm actually afraid to actually touch something wrong and get off of Skype here now that I have a connection. We had our. It was interesting that the last show I did, we lost 4 lines at the studio that I was calling into. And they said I have a record. In another show, we lost 2 lines. And then on the As You Wish show, we've lost a couple of lines too. We'll lose connections and it just drops off. There's no reason for it. The phones work perfectly until we get on the air or we start talking about something controversial. So right when we get to the most controversial part, pop, drops right off. And I think that's quite interesting, and it seems to be happening everywhere. But I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get onto this chat line without losing my other line. Looks like it's not wanting to cooperate. So anyway, I know I'm getting chats here, and I'm hoping the line's staying open. But basically, okay, here we've got it. We've got several numbers here. We've got some toll-free numbers. The toll-free number is 888-815-9756, and that's for U.S. and Canada. Again, that's 888-815-9756. And if anybody wants to call in and talk about any of your UFO experiences,